Good morning, beloveds. So I've had an interesting morning. My personal trainer is at I think a church camp for the week. So obviously I didn't go to the gym this morning. So we opted to go for a walk. And as we're walking, we come around and there's this squirrel who has jumped up on a tree and laid down. And I was like, let me see if I can take his picture. Well, I couldn't. But the owner of the house, she was out in her driveway anyway, came over, said, "Oh, are you taking the picture?" And I think when she got close to us, she realized that she knew who we were. And so we talked for five minutes or so, about squirrels and trees. And I found out because it's her house that has my favorite tree in it, and it's a winged elm. So that was really cool to learn that. And then she was telling she does electrical inspections. And so she said, "Hey, look me up on Facebook." Because I tell all kinds of the fun stories about the stuff that I see when I do these inspections. So I was like, okay. And I was curious because I was like, when she got up close to me, she looked at me and she said, "Wow, you look like you've lost a lot of weight." And I was like, "No, just put on a lot of muscle." And so it was like, okay, obviously she knows who I am. It took me a minute when I looked up her Facebook page to realize, oh, I do know who she is. She's the Cheshire Cat out at fair. So it's like, oh, okay, so we live in, adjacent neighborhoods. It's not the same neighborhood, but adjacent neighborhoods. So it was really cool. So we had this 5-minute conversation, we knew each other. It was interesting. We knew each other from fair. And so now we know we live close to each other. But what made that really interesting, because we stopped and talked to her for 5 minutes. So as we're doing the cut through, cutting back into our neighborhood out of hers, I know I've talked about it before. We have a hawk that lives in our neighborhood. And we had seen them, 2 of them, and they're huge, flying over the neighborhood. And so as we're walking up, the house directly in front of us, one of the hawks swooped down, and it was a red-tailed hawk because you could see that red tail, and swooped down into and was chasing a squirrel in the yard. I mean, we saw it land, and I'm telling you, this thing had a 5-foot wingspan. I feel bad for the hawk, but, the squirrel got away. So we got to see it, dive in, and kind of swoop around a little bit, and it landed, and the squirrel got away, and so then we watched it take off and fly away, and of course it happened so fast, I couldn't get my camera out. But it was just a really neat experience. And if I hadn't stopped to try and take a picture of the squirrel, and then talk to the person the lady that we knew for 5 minutes, we would never have seen that. It was just really amazing. So it's like, sometimes the little things that happen for a reason, and it's really cool. So it's like, look out for those little it's like, fortunately, because it's Tom's day off, he wasn't rushing me away from the conversation with the pink flamingo inspector. That's the name of her business. So her name's Ricky. So it was just really cool. All right, but we are fast closing on the end of this year. It is December 29th. Our title is "Today I Really Practice Right Thinking." Our quote is, "Man is idea, the image of love. Man is idea, the image of love. He is not physique." There are odd commas in there. And that is Science and Health 475. And again, I think I should have looked last time. I'm pretty sure Science and Health is Mary Baker Eddy. All right. "I set apart the hours of this day which God has given to me to practice spiritual principles. I not only have good intentions to do this, but I really will do this. I am determined to prove mind the only cause and the law the only process. I affirm my existence in a life which knows what to do, and a love which gives of itself through me. I behold my present world as the body of God, alive with goodness and prosperity. I know that what I think will become a fact through the law. I now dedicate my whole thinking and feeling nature to the infinite spirit. My thinking today brings to pass my heart's desire. The love I release today enriches the whole world. Because there is but one mind, God, infinite good, there is nothing to prevent me from demonstrating truth. All power is in full action through me. I now select what I want to demonstrate, and I subconsciously accept it as a present idea. I know it is not only possible, but having accepted it, it must take form in my life. The whole power and authority of the universal subjective now acts upon my selections and brings it forth immediately. There is no delay. God's action is full and complete, and my demonstration now takes place. Certain of results from scientific prayer, I face the problems of this day with no fear. Within me and acting through me is divine intelligence, forever producing right decisions and right results. I cannot be hurt, confused, nor upset. I am a center of peace and poise in my own. I am a center of peace, and poise is my only reaction. I have no criticism, no condemnation, no feelings of superiority. I know that it who indwells me also indwells my fellow human, or my fellow being. I like fellow being better. I think straight. I feel love. I am a creative center in a universal mind. My courage is complete and my strength is sufficient. I am God's health made manifest. Today I am on the beam. Today is the best day I have ever known. Today I give thanks for truth. All right, so basically, the very beginning, he tells you why spiritual practice is so important. Now, it's interesting that he says, I set apart the hours of this day. Your spiritual practice is what you make of it. And your spiritual practice can be short or it can be long. And it also, one of the other things is, it's worth thinking about what you mean by spiritual practice, okay? What I'm doing right here, right now, this is spiritual practice for me. And I hope it's spiritual practice for you, because we are doing a reading about, spiritual ideas. And we are, I would say I'm having a discussion, even though I'm having a discussion with myself, about these spiritual ideas. So this is spiritual practice. This is me ingraining these principles, these ideas into my subconscious. And treatments are spiritual practice. But one of the other things you want to consider is things that you might not think about as spiritual practice are also spiritual practice. I.e., one of the things that I say is engage your mind and your body, which is a nice way of saying exercise. Because, people don't like that word, exercise. Or some people do, because I do. But the act of physically taking care of myself by exercising is a spiritual practice. Cooking, absolutely, especially when you do it with love, is a spiritual practice. So I would wager that you probably do far more spiritual practice in your daily life than you think you do. So when he says set apart hours and everybody's, oh God, I can't sit on a pillow in lotus position for hours. You don't have to. You want to do that for 15 minutes? You want to do that for an hour? Go for it. Meditation is wonderful. Not everybody can meditate for hours on end. Some people, 15 minutes is their minute. Their max. But there are a variety of other things that you do in your everyday life that with just a twist of the mind become a spiritual practice. And what I mean by that is you are doing them consciously. When you cook and you cook with love, that is a spiritual practice. When you exercise, like you go for a walk, even if you're arguably going for a walk to clear your mind, you are still doing it with intention, and you are doing it. So that is a spiritual practice. So there are, if you do any kind of art, craft, any of that, if you are doing it with intention and with love, it's a spiritual practice. So I would argue that you are doing way more spiritual practice than you think you are. It is about the intention with which you do it, the emotion, the feeling that you do with it, and just that you do it in love. So think about that. You do. You do so much more spiritual practice than you think you do. All right. So today I really practice right thinking, and that's what I mean by intention. So it's man is idea, comma, the image, comma, of love. It's just a little weird. But Mary Baker Eddy, he is not physique. So we're not our bodies. But it is a spiritual practice to take care of our bodies. Science and Health, 475. All right. I set apart the hours of this day which God has given me to practice spiritual principles. Honestly, we practice spiritual principles all the time. The question is are we doing them consciously? What is it that you really believe? I not only have good intentions to do this, but I really will do this. I am determined to prove mind the only cause and law the only process. I affirm my existence in a life which knows what to do and a love which gives of itself through me. Okay, I don't know about you, but I love the idea. I love that phrase. A love which gives of itself through me. All right? When we plug into that love, we plug into an inexhaustible source of love, and it does amazing things to us, through us, and around us. I behold my present world as the body of God, alive with goodness and prosperity. All right? The present world is the body of God. I think Ansel Adams has a quote. I'm pretty sure it's Ansel Adams. He's a world-renowned nature photographer. And if it's not him, it's somebody like that, who said that they don't understand worshiping a God that they can't see while destroying the visible body of God, meaning nature. All around us, God is. It's like everywhere you look, God's looking back at you. I know that what I think will become a fact through the law. And that's one of the things where we want to be aware of the trend of our thoughts. I don't worry so much about the little individual thoughts that crop up, because we all have them. It's like, I'm not going to beat myself up by every little negative thought that I might have. But what I'm going to do is watch the trend of my thoughts. If the trend of my thoughts is tending towards negative, then I need to go back and go, all right, what's going on here? And turn that trend around. So I now dedicate my whole thinking and feeling nature to the infinite spirit, which is what I mean about consciousness. My thinking today brings to pass my heart's desire. The love I release today enriches the whole world. You never know where one small ripple will go. You never know where one small ripple. Your one kindness to one person that you don't even remember could put them on a path that changes the world. Because there is but one mind, God, infinite good, there is nothing to prevent me from demonstrating the truth. The only thing that can get in my way is me. And so sometimes I need to give up, all of the things that society and culture and religion and other people have told me that aren't true. All power is in full action through me, power statement. I now select what I want to demonstrate, and I subconsciously accept it as a present idea. Okay, so I select, meaning I make the choice. You are always at choice, and if you want to have some say in what goes on in your world, you need to make choices. So select what you want to demonstrate, and then you have to accept it, meaning you have to accept it subconsciously. You have to accept it consciously, and you have to accept it with feeling that pushes down into that subconscious, I got this. I know it is not only possible, but having accepted it, it must take form in my life. The whole power and authority of the universal subjective now acts upon my selection and brings it forth immediately. All right, that's hardball metaphysics. There is no delay. God's action is full and complete, and my demonstration now takes place. Again, hardball metaphysics. Those are words you take into treatment. Those are absolutely words you take into treatment. They're very good words, phrases, sentences. Certain of the results from scientific prayer, I face the problems of this day with no fear, because I know that the solutions are already within me. I don't even have to worry about the problems, because I already got the solutions and I'm working on them. Within me and acting through me is divine intelligence, forever producing right decisions and right results. The divine intelligence within me is what I am using, and because I am consciously using it, I will make right decisions and I will have right results. I cannot be hurt, confused, or upset. Well, I'd like to say that, but and when I am, because it happens, I'm human, I'll get over it a whole lot faster. I'll get over it a whole lot faster because I know who I am. I know where my power comes from. I know where that love comes from. I know that I am loved by a source that knows nothing else. And so when I do get hurt, when I do get confused, when I do get upset, I know where to go. And I know how to let go. I am a center of peace, and poise is my only reaction. Okay, that is a statement where I'm saying, all right, this is who I am. I am stating that I am a center of peace and that my reaction will always be poised. And the more I practice, the better I am at that. I'm getting a whole lot better. You know, ask me 10 years ago, or maybe longer. We were having that discussion about practitioners today, and I've been a practitioner for more than 10 years, but I'm not sure how much longer. I think I saw my card, though, so I should go look. All right. So I am a center of peace, and poise is my only reaction. I have no criticism, no condemnation, no feeling of superiority, meaning I'm letting my ego go. It's like, that's not my ego's job. My ego has a job, and it's a very important job, but that's not my ego's job. I know that spirit who indwells me also indwells my fellow being. So regardless of what's going on around me, regardless of the interaction that I am having with someone, it is on me to remember that they are a beloved child of God as well. And it's on me to act like it. I think straight. I feel love. I am a creative center of in a universal mind. All right. I am a creative center in a universal mind. You are a creative center in a universal mind. My courage is complete. My strength is sufficient. Why is my strength sufficient? Because it is coming through me, not from me. So when I need that additional strength, when I have been pushed to my limits, when I've been pushed to my physical limits, if there is still work for me to do, I know where to go. And I know that strength will be provided for me. My strength is sufficient. So plug in. I am God's health made manifest. Today I am on the beam. I don't know what that means. I've never heard that phrase before. That might be worth going to look up. Today I am on the beam. It sounds like something from construction. Today is the best day I have ever known. Can you look yourself in the mirror and say that every day when you get up? Today is the best day I have ever known. And see how it changes the day that you have. Today I give thanks for truth. All right, so the mission, should we choose to accept it, I had a really good one, and I like this. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to behold our present world as the body of God, alive with goodness and prosperity. Because I like that, to look around and see God everywhere, to realize that there is nothing but sacred, and to act as if To act as if. So, that's the mission today. To recognize that we live and move and have our being literally in the body of God. So, the other mission for today, because I started out talking about that you have far more spiritual practice in your life than you think you do. And this is the one that I suggest every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. If it is a small thing, as small as 3 deep breaths, or a big thing, you want to take a week's vacation, every day, I want you to practice that, because it is a spiritual practice to be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself. It's also a habit that if we can create that habit for ourselves, then no matter what happens around us, we will be a center of peace. We will respond with poise, and we will be able to give people a pass. It's like, all right, I see you're having a tough day. I get it. I'm not going to react to that. I'm going to respond, and I'm going to respond with kindness. I'm going to respond with compassion. I'm going to respond with lovingness. And sometimes that means removing myself from the situation. So, when I say give people a pass, I don't mean excusing their bad behavior. You are welcome to call them on their bad behavior, but do it in a loving, kind, and compassionate manner. So, when you practice on yourself, you can do that. All right, beloveds. I also, as I always do, encourage you to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to go get a face full of sun, which I did not do because there's no sun this morning. Weather, go. But I did go get out in the, bright, in the sunrise behind the clouds. Got me some sun. And drink plenty of water. Whatever else you do today, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. As I said from the reading, our world is the body of God. This is heaven around us. And how do we find it? But by looking for the good. When we look for the good, or creating the good, because that's a good way to do it too. When we look for the good and praise it, it multiplies. So please remember that. It's always all around us. Sometimes it just needs our attention to see it. All right, beloveds, I'm going to encourage. It's Wednesday, and there's a board meeting today. I'm not sure if the Living Science of Mind has taken the week off, so feel free to email info@creativelife.org to find out, and then you can get the Zoom link for that. Because I know that there are 3 book studies starting up next year, which is next week. This year's gone. But have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day. An amazing day, a fantastic day, a fantastical day, an enchanting day, a magical day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Because you are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased always and forever. And nothing can change that, because it's a state of grace. And grace is always given. You can't earn it. You don't have to earn it. It's amazing in that way. So, take care of yourself. If you need us, we're on the social medias. Check us out. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. on Facebook Live. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. You can catch all of these for the last year and a half, which a reminder is that, yes, I know we're coming to the end of the year, but I started in April, I think. So I still have 4 months of this to go. And then Jesse's already picked a new book for me, so don't worry. I'm going to keep going. Know that you're loved. I'll see you next time.